Hello everyone, Russ Curran coming at you live here Friday afternoon, August 22nd with some incredible news to share with you around the advertising and marketing program for SSI, or better known as AMP. So let's get right into this. This will be a short presentation, but one that you're going to want to follow very, very closely. Now please watch this until the end or you're going to be sorry that you didn't. AMP, we're going to share some initial results this Monday night on our regular weekly webinar on Monday night, August 27th. 25th. So you're not going to want to miss that. So please make note of that. And along with this video and this email, I'm including the webinar invite to get yourself registered. And once you're registered once, you're good for the rest of the year. You'll just get reminders for every Monday night. So make sure you take care of that. Two, the full deployment of banner ads for all associates will begin Wednesday, August 27th of this week. So fasten your seatbelts for what you're about to see. And I'm going to share a little bit of that with you in this presentation. Now I'm going to show you some very conservative hypothetical numbers in this presentation that's going to get you very excited. And then I'm going to close this presentation with something amazing. So watch the entire presentation or you will be kicking yourself. I can promise you that. Okay, let's talk briefly about the AMP monthly process because there's been some confusion around this and I want to make sure this is clear with everybody. The first 20 days of each month will be spent on banner ad creation and tweaking, analytics, testing, etc., with the goal to make each subsequent month in AMP even stronger than the prior month. The last 10 days of each month, the full deployment of banner ads for each participating associate's individual campaign will take place, with the goal to deliver guaranteed results on your advertising commitment. Now, this will be the process each and every month. We want to set the right expectations for the program so everyone understands how this will work and not be wondering why the bigger numbers are not coming in over the first 2/3 of the month. Now, with each subsequent month, with the retention of players building month to month, the number in the beginning of each month will be larger and larger. And then when the full deployment kicks in over the last 10 days of each month, the numbers will become quite substantial. Okay, so AMP's first month, August. The AMP build-out process is complete. Now, with anything new, this took a little bit longer than we had planned. However, it does not change the coming results. Let me repeat that. It does not change the coming results. It just moved them back a bit. Let's talk about banner advertising for a second. For those that understand banner advertising, I don't need to convince or explain to you how this works because you already know that. It is kicking conventional advertising in the you-know-what, right? Now, it's all about numbers and creating impressions across the internet. This is called branding, and branding works. So now let's take a look at some numbers, shall we? I want to walk you through some hypothetical examples that are going to get you really fired up. And this, I think we've talked to on our past webinars on AMP, but maybe not put it in front of you in quite this way. So in these examples, we're going to use an example of one AMP account at the minimum of $250 per month, okay, in month one. And the things to pay particular attention to are, as I mouse over right here, we're only going to use, well, first let me back up. For each $250 AMP account, every month it's going to create, as an average, about 500,000, because of the network we're in and the big boys we're playing with here, ad impressions. 500,000 ad impressions, okay? Now, if we were to very, very, very conservatively convert people out of those impressions and get them registered to play just 1/10 of a percent, 0.10 of a percent, 1/10 of a percent, that would be 500 players from those 500,000 impressions, okay? Now let's carry it over left to right here. Now we're going to use a very low estimate of dollars per day per player, where we know that when we get to 10,000 players on our platform or more playing every day, it's going to represent about 25 cents per player of revenue being generated. For the sake of this example, we're going to cut that in half. It shows 13 cents. It's actually rounding up. It's 12.5 cents in this example. And then we're only going to use the number of days these 500 players are going to be playing in this example for 5 days. Some may play a little less, some may play a little more. We're going to use 5 just to be conservative, okay? Because we want to under-promise and over-deliver. That's going to represent in the first month for a $250 minimum AMP program, delivering $312.50 in commissions generated from the advertising that brought in the players that played to generate those commissions. Okay, so this is just the first example. Let's move forward. Now, this is a hypothetical example still in month 1. The same example is up at the top here I just walked you through. But the only thing we're going to change in the bottom here in this example is we're going to change that conversion rate from 0.1% to 0.5% or 0.5. So that means out of that average of 500,000 impressions, if we bump that up and we convert a little bit better, okay, getting to 0.5%, that's going to bring in 2,500 players, not 500, at the same 13 cents or 12.5 cents per player per day over just 5 days of playing, okay, just 5. That takes what in the first example was $312.50 to $1,562.50. You see that? So on the low side, we're at 312, and on a somewhat better note, just a couple ticks up from that, we're at $1,562. Okay? I hope that's starting to sink in for people. Okay, and again, we're being ultra conservative here. Now let's take it one step further. Let's start to talk about, we talked about the compounding effect, right? The carryover. So the retention of players that we bring in through this program, they carry over into the second month and keep playing. Understanding that there's no way you can keep 100% retention of every player. That would mean every single player fell in love with our platform and just couldn't stand to be away from it every single day. We know that's not realistic, right? So in the above example, again, this just shows you where I started, the $312.50 off the 0.1% converted out of the 500,000 ad impressions. Now, let's move into the second month where we keep this base going. So the second month, still at 250, generating 312.50 from this hypothetical example. Let's talk about the carryover we had from month 1. And let's say we were able to retain 40% of the players we enrolled for month 1 through our advertising. Okay, so the advertising again brought in 500 people in month 1. 40% of 500 is 200 players. Keeping the same low estimates of 12.5 cents per player per day, again using only 5 days, that's an additional $125 from our first month of players added into our new second month of players, the $312.50. Now we're at $437.50 in month 2, being ultra conservative. Okay, let's take it a step further. Let's go to month 3. Okay, again, we're going to use that same conversion rate of 0.1% based off of our 500,000 impressions. We generated another $312.50 in month 3. Now we need to take a look at our carryover from month 2 and of course from month 1 added in. Now I removed the 40% because let's say of the 200 we carried over from month 1, only 100 of those remained in month 3. The real diehard players that just fell in love with what we have and are sticking with us, okay? So I'm even chopping that number in half. And then out of the 500 players we brought in month 2, we kept the 40% at 200. So that's a total of 300 now in carryover. Again, using the low estimate of 12.5 cents a day, playing for only 5 days, 5 days out of 30, that's $100 and just short of $88. So the $312.50, the $188, now I'm at $500 on very conservative estimates. Okay, and this is total month 2. This is actually month 3. Sorry about that. That's a typo there. That should be month 3. So in month 3, as you can see here, we're at $500, and we just doubled the cost of the program. So we're paying $250 a month, and we're generating $500 in commissions from all the players that advertising brought in because when the players play, that generates revenue for the system and for everybody. So $500 in commissions, you doubled the cost of the AMP program in month 3 on extremely conservative numbers. Now, let's take a look at one more scenario. Let's get a little more amped up here. So, oops, sorry about that. So what did I do differently here in this example? All I did was I changed the conversion of registered to play out of the 500,000 ad impressions, and I just bumped it up to the 0.5%, 0.5, from the 1/10 of a percent. That brings in 2,500 players, 12.5 cents a day. They're generating in revenue by playing the games and gifting points. Playing 5 days generates the $1,562.50. Now, let's do the carryover from the first 2 months. Okay. Again, I removed the percentage because I'm going to say that from the first month, out of the 2,500 people, we brought 750 with us into month 3. And from the second month of generating 2,500 new players, we brought in half, or 1,250. So that totals 2,000 people. Okay, carryover, playing 5 days a month, generating 12.5 cents when they play each day. Okay, that's going to generate an incremental $1,250 added to the $1,562 from the new players. So now you're at $2,812.50 in 3 months on the AMP program, where it's costing you $250 a month. The $2,812 is generated in commissions from the players who've enrolled under you through the advertising program and play and gift their points every day. So again, just taking that percentage up, it's actually not even a percentage, it's a portion of a percentage. We went from 1/10 of a percent to 1/2 of a percent. Now I have to add this. For all of you who ever have been involved in email campaigns or any direct buys or any kind of co-op advertising in the past, or email marketing buys, the conversion rate is typically around the industry standard 2%. That's considered to be typically a good conversion rate, 2%. And those are sometimes on subpar campaigns. We've got a very targeted campaign, or campaigns, I should say, and we're being way ultra conservative in most of our examples at 1/10 of a percent, and in this example going to 1/2 of a percent versus an industry standard of about 2%. Now, some really, really good campaigns out there can convert 6, 8, 10% on their campaigns. We're using 1/2 a percent in this one example, and look at what the numbers are generating from just one spot at the minimum. Okay? Now, let's move forward. The surprise announcement I wanted you all to hang on for at the end. Okay? This is where it gets really good. Starting right now, we are launching our first and most likely our last AMP contest that all associates can participate in and have a chance at winning. So, what does the contest winner receive, you ask? Are you ready? Wait for it. Here it comes. A lifetime AMP monthly membership of $1,000 every single month for the winner. Let me repeat that. A lifetime AMP monthly membership of $1,000 every single month for the winner. So now you're probably going, holy moly, what do I got to do to qualify? Well, let's talk about that. AMP contest qualifications. For each associate that enrolls an AMP participant at the minimum of $250, that will count as one drawing entry. Okay? Now, for each $100 an AMP participant commits to above the $250 minimum, that counts as another drawing entry. I.e., if you enroll somebody who joins and commits to $550 an AMP, that would be 4 drawing entries right there from one enrollee. Okay? Now, everyone who enrolls at least one AMP participant during the contest has a chance at winning the lifetime $1,000 AMP monthly membership. Okay, you just have to enroll one, because what does that do? That gives you a drawing entry. As long as you're entered into a drawing, you have a chance at winning. Now, obviously, the more people you enroll and the higher level in AMP they commit to, the more drawing entries you will accumulate increasing your odds of winning. It's really simple. It's kind of like the lottery, right? The more tickets you buy, the better chance you give yourself at winning. Okay, so let's continue with qualifications. A current associate who is an AMP must enroll at least one person into the AMP program during the contest window to be entered into the drawing. Pretty self-explanatory. So what's the contest window? The AMP contest has officially started today, August 22nd, 2014, with the launch of this video, and will run through the end of September. Okay, the results will be tracked by the company, although you'll want to track them on your own as well for your verification, and we will announce the winner during the first week of October 2014. The contest winner can transfer the lifetime $1,000 a month AMP membership to anyone who is a current AMP member. So team leaders can award a team member who is hustling out there for this award, but they came up short and they weren't the winner. But if you're the team leader who happened to win, you can give that to any one of your team players who are hustling out there trying to make this happen. Okay, now a warning, potential cap on the AMP program. We talked about this from the very beginning, but I want to make sure this is clear as well while this contest is going on. Something Software reserves the right to cap the AMP program when we reach a point where we believe the integrity of the program could be compromised. What do I mean by that? Well, in other words, we want to provide the absolute best results for all the participating associates in the AMP program, helping each of you develop a thriving business that can change your life financially. So, if during this contest we achieve the results that indeed start to put a strain on delivering these results to our AMP founding members, we will immediately cap the program at that time and communicate that to everyone. And if we do cap the program, the AMP program during the contest window, this could happen, the sign-up process online will be taken down and you will be notified. Okay? So let's talk about being grandfathered in. So if there is a need to cap the AMP program, no need to worry. If you are a part of AMP before we cap it, you will still be able to enroll businesses and your charities into the AMP program. We will not cap that aspect because there's so much more advertising we can do with that and different charities and different keywords, etc., etc. I don't need to go into that, but that will not be capped. So you can continue to build your business's business and your charity's business through the AMP program. Now, assuming there is a cap on AMP sometime in the near future, the only way a spot will open up is if someone drops out, which I really don't see happening with the guarantee we have on the program on your advertising commitment. But that is the only way it would happen if eventually it does get capped. So I just want everybody to know this, and we want to be very clear with everyone. Now it's time to get busy because you've just been granted with the first mover advantage as a result of seeing this video right now, and now it's time to act. Actually, I put 3 major reasons to act now, 3 major reasons, and then I added a fourth, so my fault, typo. Number one, major reason number one, you want to act now. Don't be left out of the program. You'll be kicking yourself for a very long time over this one if you're not in and in now. 2, don't leave your team out. Why would you want to keep this from them? When they find out, and they will, trust me, that won't be a fun conversation with them. And I know we have some people in this program who are just waiting to see if we can actually deliver results. You're making a mistake by waiting, okay? You need to get busy and you need to act now. 3, the faster you act in securing your position and your team's position in AMP, the better you can sleep at night because then you don't have to worry about being locked out with a potential cap. And 4th, with every AMP sign up, you increase your odds of winning the lifetime AMP $1,000 monthly membership for either yourself or someone in your team that you'd like to gift that and transfer that over to. So let the AMP contest begin. We want to wish everyone good luck. Cheers.